I want to introduce Sharon Bird. Sharon, longtime history working with the Social Security Administration, and now is the president and CEO of Bird Consultants. So this is pretty awesome. And she'll tell you a little bit about that. But she's also served in our advisory council. She's on our development board right now. And she's helped us out in many ways over the years. She's also been the chair of the Legacy Celebration, which is our fundraising event every year. So it's tough to talk when you have a mask on, and it's hard to hear. So if everybody keeps their mask on, nose and mouth covered, we're gonna let Sharon be out without her mask, and then you'll be able to hear her, and we'll all be safe and sound. So Sharon, take it away.
Well, thank you. Thank you, and good afternoon. It is wonderful to be here at H Smart Community Resource Center, a place that is near and dear to my heart, and should be near and dear to anyone's heart who has ever utilized their services. As Joy said, I am a longtime employee of the Social Security Administration, now retired, 30 years. Just think about it, 30 years in an agency that makes such a difference in people's lives. After 30 years with the agency, what happened with me is what happens across the country many times. My mother had a stroke, and she was not able to care for herself. And since I was in the business of Social Security and caregiving and Medicare, I was the one that decided to retire so that I could take care of my mother. Well, thank God that she did recover, and she recovered pretty quickly. So once she got settled in a beautiful assisted living apartment, she told me, she said, you know what? You're running this assisted living facility almost, so you need to go back to work, and which I agreed. What I did with the agency for the last 12 years of that 30-year career was I provided education and guidance to the public for the agency. Any new initiatives, I was the face and voice of the agency. And also any pre-retirement seminars, working with community organizations and agencies, creating workshops for disability, for social workers, working with hospital staff when it came to issues on terminal illnesses, you name it, I'll claim it. I've even given pre-retirement seminars to Navy SEALs and the Secret Service. So I've done it all. So with that being said, I knew also that the kind of information that I was bringing to the public, it didn't go away when I retired. And I knew that. However, the agency forever being crunched when it comes to the numbers of people who require their services did not backfill my position. And it bothered me because I knew that the kind of information the public needed, it didn't go away when I retired. So what I decided to do was start Bird Consultants, LLC. And in starting Bird Consultants, LLC, it gave me the freedom to educate the public and also to work within the community arena that I knew once you do seek partnerships, you can expand the reach of not only the Social Security offices, but you can also expand the reach of agencies like Joy's H Smart Community Resource Center. So that in itself is the reason that I was excited about starting my own business. And plus, I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, what else are you going to do with all of this information, right? You're walking around with all this information. What else are you going to do with it? So anyway, that's why I decided that I would start Bird Consultants. For one thing, I know that when we're talking about retirement, sometimes it's as clear as mud water, right? And so I, being trained by the agency, I know how complex trying to understand the different programs can be. So what we do at Bird Consultants is we clear it up and we make sure that we eliminate the fear and anxiety about these programs. And that's what I'm going to do today. What I want to do is introduce you to your Social Security programs because they belong to you. Anytime you work and pay into something, as long as you've been doing, you have ownership, don't you? So rather than saying the Social Security Administration, let's talk about your Social Security Administration. As I said, Social Security is with you throughout life. From the time you're born into the world until the time you're on the south side of the grass and not the north side, Social Security is with you. And because Social Security is with you throughout, it's important that not only you, the beautiful people in the room, and also the ones who are online, it isn't just important to you, but it's important to young people also from the time they start their first job. They're actually planting the seed of that retirement tree. Think about that. When I said that Social Security was with you throughout your life, it is. They call it a safety net program, and you betcha, that's exactly what it is. If you think about it, these are the programs here: retirement, disability, survivor's benefits, compassionate allowance. We'll talk about that. Medicare, wounded warriors for veterans, and also we have divorced spouses and spousal benefits as well. So we're going to cover all of that. Now, when we're talking about retirement, when we're thinking about it, oftentimes there are just basic questions that come to mind, like, when's the best time to take retirement benefits? What if I decide to work after I retire? And also, what about Medicare? When should I take Medicare? Those are some questions that the agency is, they get those questions all the time. And then, but they also, there are tools that have been created to kind of help you do some work at home to kind of help you arrive at what's the best time for you to take the benefits. And last but not least, how in the world do you apply for these benefits? Now, something that I want people to know, because I do think that this is something that people don't think about oftentimes. Social Security is the #1 anti-poverty program in this country. Oftentimes people do not think about it in those terms, but look at the amount of money that Social Security pays out. And at the end of December 2020, 45.8 million retired workers were receiving $69.4 billion. And that's every month. Every month, just think about that. And in addition to that, another 3.1 million dependents of those retired workers was receiving over $2.4 billion in monthly Social Security benefits. So that's the reason you will hear it referred to as a safety net, because that's exactly what it does. So when you're talking about retirement benefits, and I talk with young people about this a lot, because a lot of young people will say, well, in order for me to get benefits, I got to work until I'm 80. And I go like, I don't know, probably. But actually, when you think about it, when you're talking about being insured for Social Security, you only need 40 credits. 40 credits is 4 credits times 10 years. However, if you have worked and earned $5,880 for the year, you already have 4 credits, because you can only earn 4 credits per year, right? Even if you earn $588,000 a year, $500,000 a year, you're only going to get 4 credits. But this is good for young people also, working at McDonald's or Chick-fil-A. So they're earning credits as well, which is a good thing to know. But yeah, 40 credits, 10 years. If you have 10 years of earnings, you will forever be insured for retirement benefits, okay? Now, how is Social Security determined? Well, we know the more you work and pay into Social Security, the higher the benefit amount. But the way they determine that is they take all of your earnings into consideration and they get rid of the lowest 5 years. And what they're going to do is they will pay you on the 35 highest years of earnings. And they also go back and they give yesterday's dollar today's dollar value. So they're paying you on the very best of your earnings record. And that result is an average index monthly earnings. That's how they compute that monthly benefit amount. But one thing that I need to add, and this is very important, for people who have scattered earnings, and maybe they have a lot of 0 years. When you're adding 0 years, when you're averaging out, what happens when you have too many 0 years? It drags that monthly benefit amount down. Oftentimes women, because we may take off to rear children, or either we may take off to take care of loved ones, aging parents, we're the ones with the 0 years. Having to cut a career short to take care of a parent affects that bottom line. So therefore, when I'm talking with women or men who have taken off to care for parents, sometimes I will suggest to them that maybe they want to work a little bit so that they can replace some of those low years. Very important. Now, with your monthly benefit amount, I will say this. The only thing that will affect how much you get your monthly benefit amount is at what age you take it, okay? So therefore, that's the reason you hear people all the time and they're saying, well, what if I take it at 62? And what the heck is a full retirement age? Or I hear people talk all the time about how I can max out my benefit amount, right? Well, here we go. Let's take someone who would be entitled to $1,000 a month Social Security benefit at his or her full retirement age, okay? That's age 66 for this example, right? $1,000 a month. But what if that same person elected to take it early at 62? It would be reduced to $750, right? But what if they decided, okay, I'm not going to take it, I want to max it out. When they talk about maxing out, what they're actually talking about is getting delayed retirement credit. Delayed retirement credit or increases for every year that you don't take your Social Security benefits after that age 66, that full retirement age, there's an increase of 8%, guaranteed increase every month, okay? Until it maxes out at age 70. Look at what $1,000 at full retirement age would grow to at age 70, $1,320. That's a guaranteed income increase. So that's the reason why you hear people talk about waiting until age 70. That's what you have to kind of think about when you're talking about when's the best time to take it. But keep in mind, the best time to take it will be when other factors in your life will say, okay, this is the right age to take it as well. Sometimes health, sometimes insurance, all kinds of things can factor in. Now, we talked about full retirement age. Everybody should pretty much know what their full retirement age would be. So if you look here and you see 1943 to 1954, age 66. It used to be age 65, but there was an adjustment in how they figured the full retirement age. And for the young people that said that they have to work until age 80, no, they don't. Even babies being born today, as it stands right now, don't need to be any older than 67, okay? Right now, okay? So, but when we're talking about retirement, let's think about it. Let's think about the year we had last year. Wow, that was something. So that made people that push retirement even that much more uppermost in your mind. So when you're thinking about retirement, what you need to know is this is how a great retirement would look, right? An ideal retirement. Let's say, for instance, we know, how many of you have said Social Security isn't enough to live on? All of you should have said that, because guess what? It's only there to replace 40% of your pre-retirement income. It was never designed to be a catch-all, right? However, how many of you know people who live 100% off of their Social Security? Absolutely, yeah. But look here, Social Security, your retirement benefits, that Social Security is lifetime. Once you start taking it, it doesn't go anywhere until you leave, okay? Also, with Social Security, it grows as you age. It grows as you age because of the cost of living is factored into that, so it continues to grow. But how about your pensions? We remember the good old days when just about everybody had a guaranteed pension, right? But what's going on with pensions today? Yeah, so therefore, this may not even factor into your retirement picture. However, savings and investments. Well, the thing about that is we are living longer, no matter with cancer, diabetes, it doesn't matter. We continue to live on. And because we're living longer, we have a greater chance of outliving those savings and investments as well. Social Security still continues right on. Other income. What the heck is other income? It's whatever you create. Oftentimes, most of the time, the other income will end up being working after you retire, okay? Working. And the great thing about working after you retire if you are under the full retirement age, you can work and earn $18,960. Let's continue to use that $1,000, that $1,000 a month. So you can work and earn up to $18,960 and still get 12 checks at $1,000 a month. However, what if you earn over? You make $2,000 over that amount. Then what they would do is they would hold back a check to keep you from being overpaid. So if you made $20,960, and they would only hold back $1 for every $2 that you went over. So they would hold back one check, okay? But the full retirement age, once you reach your full retirement age, you can, up until that, let's say you're going to be your full retirement age in September, from January through August, you can work and earn $50,520, and it will not affect any of your Social Security payments. What happens once you reach your full retirement age in September? Tell Warren Buffett to get out the way, because you can earn as much as Warren Buffett, and all restrictions from the Social Security Administration goes away. So once you reach that full retirement age, I always say that's the double bonus coupon right there, okay? Because you can. So from January through August, you can work and earn that $50,520. After, from September on, it doesn't matter how much you work and earn, okay? So there it is, no limit. So just keep that in mind also. Spousal benefits, that same worker, remember, $1,000 a month. If that worker has a spouse, if that spouse is full retirement age also, the most they can receive is half, 50% of that worker's $1,000. So that would be $500. But if they take it early, remember, I said nothing will reduce those payments except early retirement. So that age will be a factor. And instead of the 50%, they could receive less. But let's say, for instance, if that worker spouse has also worked and paid into Social Security, and let's say that that spouse is entitled to $600 a month. Remember, if it's over that 50%, which would be $500, then he or she wouldn't be entitled to anything on that worker's record. However, let's say she or he is entitled to $300 on their own record. Then they would pay an additional $200 off of that worker's record to bring that spouse up to that 50%. So that's how that is paid. And things happen, and sometimes there are divorces, right? So here is this divorced spouse of the worker entitled to the same amount, the same 50%, and it will no way affect what the current spouse is receiving, and it does not take away from the worker as well. So it is possible, as long as that divorced spouse is unmarried, age 62 or older, and if that divorced spouse is entitled to disability benefits, that's something else that there's a different classification for that. But the benefits that that divorced spouse is paid will in no way affect anybody's benefits, okay? So so you can have the worker getting $1,000 a month, the current spouse getting $500 a month, and then the divorced spouse would receive $500 also. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, Social Security safety net program. Disability benefits. The disability benefits are so important now because what? we have young people who are becoming disabled more and more and more at a rate that we haven't seen in a while. With Social Security disability, remember I said it's important to young people as well, because the younger they are, the fewer credits they need to have worked and paid into Social Security to be insured for disability benefits also. With disability benefits, you must have worked and paid into the program. You must be currently insured, and also the disabling condition must be one that is so severe that it is going to last for more than 12 months or either result in death. And it must be a condition that can be medically found by a doctor as well. So with disability, we know that we have two kinds of disability programs, all right? It's important that you know the distinction between Social Security disability, where you have to be insured and worked and paid into the program. Then there's another program called SSI, Supplemental Security Income. That's paid to individuals who there's a financial need. They are disabled in most cases. They can be children with disability benefits. They can be adults with disability benefits, as long as the income and resources are under a limited amount. But more importantly, you have a lot of aged people, age 65 and older, with little or no income. They also would qualify for the supplemental security income payment. And it does not come, the Social Security disability insurance comes from the Retirement Survivors Disability Fund. That's where you work and pay the taxes into it. With SSI, it comes from the General Welfare Fund. So it doesn't come from taxpayers, General Welfare Fund, okay? Compassionate allowance. With compassionate allowance, what happens is when I worked for the agency and I would take disability claims sometime, and the individuals who would file those claims would be terminal. Well, we finally came up with something that addressed the special needs of people who are terminally ill. You don't need terminally ill clients waiting 4 and 5 months for a determination when it's plain, when it's clear that these people are disabled. So what they did, they created a program, and it's nothing separate from the disability program. It just says that they're able to pull those claims and work them and get an expedited decision so those people can get benefits and health insurance faster. The same thing with Wounded Warriors. This is a program that I'm very proud of, because for such a long time, Wounded Warriors, they would go into the pipeline. But now what Social Security can do is look at if they are determined to be 100% disabled and everything, can get those VA medical records or vice versa to get those military individuals paid a lot quicker also. Survivors benefits. The survivors benefits, same thing. You have that worker who is getting $1,000 a month, pass away. If that worker passes away, instead of the $500 that spouse was getting, that benefit would increase to $1,000, okay? Also, for young surviving spouses, widow or widower, sometimes people die at younger ages, right? Widow or widower benefits can start as early as age 60. It wouldn't be paid at 100%, but 71.5%. And don't forget that with these survivors benefits and even with living benefits for spouses, if there are children who are age 16 or under and still in high school, they're entitled to benefits as well. And for survivors, those children are entitled to benefits. And let's not forget, some people have adult disabled children. They are entitled to benefits as well, as long as they are not married and that disabling condition occurred prior to age 22, then that adult child is entitled to benefits until their death, not the death of the worker. It doesn't stop, it continues. And then there's that widow or widower, and also the surviving divorce widow or widower would also be entitled to benefits. So as you can see, it is a safety net program. Parents' benefits. I know Joy and them may encounter people who are getting benefits off of their son or daughter's record. I used to tell my mother sometimes, I know that they pay benefits to parents who survive their son or daughters because sometimes being a caregiver can kill you. So, right? But they do pay parents benefits if the parent is over 62 or older and was receiving at least 1/2 support from that son or daughter, then there is a benefit for parents. And we won't talk about that lump sum death payment. It's been $255 for years, okay? Now, the one thing about the widows or widower option that I love is that you can opt to take retirement benefits as early as age 62 if that benefit is higher than the widow's benefits and let that grow. Or you can do vice versa. You can take the widow's benefits first and let your retirement benefit grow so that you can max out at age 70. A lot of women look at that option there. I love that. And Medicare. I won't go a lot into Medicare because guess what? Up and coming next month, there will be a Medicare education program that will be put on by none other than H. Smart Community Resource Center. And it will be here, okay? All right, so, but in the meantime, I will just point out that Medicare had 2 original programs. Medicare Part A is yours free as an insured worker. Now, if you haven't earned enough credits, then there is a premium for Medicare Part A. That would be $471 a month. But as long as you work and paid into the program, you are good. It's yours free. The Part B, the part you pay the premium for, $148.50. The reason you're going to pay a premium also, that's the part that you use the most also for doctor office visits and outpatient care and things. And then there are other programs, the Medicare Part C and the Part D, the prescription drug program. They will put on an amazing Medicare education program, and they'll get into all of that for you. Now, with eligibility for Medicare, the disability, if you have been entitled to disability payments for 24 months, you're automatically entitled to Medicare. It doesn't matter what your condition is. There are no pre-existing penalties or anything, automatic Medicare. Also kidney failure, end-stage renal disease, automatic Medicare. And if you're age 65, Medicare, and the ALS, because of the severity of that disease, Medicare kicks in and cover that as well. And the enrollment periods, the general enrollment period are for people who have missed the boat some kind of way, right, Joy? They just kind of, so they get an opportunity to enroll in Medicare, okay? But they may incur a penalty for not taking it at the time that they were supposed to take it. The initial enrollment period, that's where if any of you are turning 865, then it's like you are a star athlete. You get mail from everywhere. And if you don't get mail, you're getting phone calls. That's because 3 months before your 65th birthday, the month of your 65th birthday, 3 months after your 65th birthday, that's your enrollment, your initial enrollment period into Medicare. However, what if you're still working once you're turning age 65? If you have credible insurance through your employer, if you have your employer group health plan, then you can delay taking Medicare, enrolling in that Part B of Medicare until you get ready to retire. And at that time, once you're getting ready to retire, you can contact the Social Security Administration. I think they can call the people at HMART, and they will help you get enrolled in Medicare. And they will ask, but it's important to know, when is your last day of employment and your last day of coverage through your employer group health plan? So there won't be any lapse in coverage, nor would there be any duplication of coverage. So, and as I said before, Joy and her group is going to do an amazing job with that. So here are some things that you will need to know when you're applying for benefits. They will ask, of course, your Social Security number. The only way they need your birth certificate is if something has dramatically changed, or something like maybe a misspelling of the name or something like that, or maybe some something with your age or something. So, but most of the time they have information in the database, and as long as it matches, you're fine. Your latest W-2, why? Because they want to pay you on your most recent earnings record, right? And also your earnings statement, just in case you're going to work after you retire, they're going to need to know that information. And direct deposit, of course, they'll need bank information. And remember, any marriages and divorces, they're going to have to see that as well, because for divorced spouses, that 10-year rule, that marriage must have lasted for at least 10 years. Cannot be 9 years, 11 months, and 29 days. That's not going to get it, right? So they need to see proof of that. And then, of course, the military service. And if you have earnings under the railroad, you have enough earnings, more than 10 years up under the railroad, then Social Security will send the earnings that you have under Social Security to the railroad board, and the railroad would take jurisdiction, okay? Remember that retirement estimator? That retirement estimator is a great tool, because you can ask, what if I decide to take it at 62? And you can put real earnings. I'm going to earn this amount of money this year. What if I take it at 62? How about full retirement age? What if I wait till age 70? So it'll help you in the privacy of your own home come to some decisions like that. And so the only way that you can't use it is if you don't have enough credits. And then, of course, it won't compute anything for you also. When you're applying for benefits, it is 3 options. However, one is online, okay? And they are encouraging you to go online. They have a wonderful website. It's an amazing website. or either you can call that 1-800-772-1213 number, and there will be someone that will help get you set up for an appointment so someone can call you or either schedule. Used to be an in-office appointment, but the offices are closed now because of the COVID pandemic. And we don't have a date for a return yet. So, but you choose whatever is most convenient for you. And if you create a My Social Security account, which can be kind of cumbersome, but if you create one, then there are things that you can get, like a replacement. Well, you can get a replacement Social Security card. Anyway, you can report wages, and you can get benefit verification. Some of you will need that once you start getting benefits, just in case you get a second mortgage or you want to do things like that. You can change your address and phone number, request a replacement Medicare card, and that all important 1099 at the end of the year. You can even get a replacement for that. And they tell you, create your own personal account. How many of you have created a My SSA account? It's kind of cumbersome. Has anyone tried to do it and forgot their password? It is pretty cumbersome and everything, but don't give up. Once you get it, and it opens up a whole world of opportunities to do certain things online for yourself. So, and with that being said, as I said before, my name is Sharon Bird. I am a 30-year Social Security expert, and also here is my contact information, my website information. I would invite any of you to go out and take a look at it. And then also, sometimes I just hang out here with H. Mart Community Resource Center, just in case some of you don't know about the services that they provide. They are all over. They are all over the place. Even if you're not sure of what you want, sometimes you can call them and they will direct you to the right place. I am just thankful to be a part of such a great organization. Joy, thank you for having me here this afternoon. Thank you.
First, this year was the first time ever that they told me that they're going to take $30 out of my Medicare Part D. I haven't been able to talk to anybody because they've been on the phone. You know anything about that? Now, let me give you a little background. I'm from the East Coast, so all my paperwork comes from Jamaica, New York, out here.
Okay.
So does that make a difference?
No.
Okay. But can you tell me about that? Because they've never taken anything out. This is the first time that they said they do it.
You're taking $30
$30 per month out of my Medicare Part D.
out of your Medicare Part D. That could be an issue with what program he's with or whatever. Joy would be able to answer that.
Right, and I'm not a senior health insurance counselor, but there are 5 of them in our office. The service is free, confidential, and you can make an appointment, you can do it online, you can do it in person, and they'll talk through that Part D plan for you and figure out why they're doing that.
Okay. Yeah,
And it might just be a change of benefits going into the upcoming year, because right now you're getting all of that information about changes in your new plan. And I know just enough about it to be dangerous, but I have experts that can answer your questions. And I'm blown away with the amount of information they have and how wonderful they are. So please just, make an appointment. That would be great.
Okay.
Let somebody else have a question, because the next question I have is a hot one.
So I have a couple of questions, Sharon. So you answered what do you do if you lose your Social Security card? But will Social Security ever call you? for any reason.
They shouldn't, no, no. And that's the thing about it, with scams, Office of Inspector General, they are forever sending out scam alerts. Anyone that have received a phone call from the Social Security office about maybe your Social Security number or your Medicare card or anything like that, that's not from Social Security, and they do advise, please do not give your information to anyone. Now, I know at one time, Joy, during the height of the pandemic last year, Social Security was calling individuals for certain things, but they would, the caller ID information, sometimes they would have that person call them back or whatever. And that was only out of desperation for trying to correspond with those people. But no, Social Security won't call you and they will not visit you either.
Right, and HSmart is the senior Medicare patrol, and we deal with a lot of fraud. Should people carry their Social Security card in their purse or wallet?
No, no. You should not carry, and you shouldn't laminate it either. But no, you shouldn't carry your Social Security card in your purse, wallet. Why? Because if you lose it, okay. And also another thing, and I'm glad you brought this up. Another thing, and this is just a word of be very, very careful about the information that you put on social media also. Because there are certain information that you can put on social media, like say, for instance, Facebook, happy birthday to me, my mom and dad, name and everything. And also I graduated from this particular high school in 1975. Well, individuals spend a lot of time looking for information. With the information that you just gave them, they can create a whole nother you with that information. So you don't have to put your actual information on Facebook. If I created a Facebook file and put 1906 on there, and they took it. We did a test run and someone put 18 something and it took it. So, but just know one thing, that people are very busy. They work just as hard as you do trying to scam and get information about you. So be very, very careful about social media.
There's 2 chats in the chat room. I don't know if there are questions for you.
The chats were just, let me see. Miss Lisa saying thank you. I wrote in there that we will be having the Medicare presentations. And then Miss Teresa said it was a great presentation. And Sharon has made the process much easier to understand and relatable.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Sure.
So the summary of a lot of the information that you gave us, I was frantically writing, but of course I can get it all. Can you go, is there a summary type sheet on the Social Security Administration's website where we could get that?
Yeah, that's a great thing about the Social Security website. As you can tell, the Social Security Administration was an amazing place to work for. I mean, I learned just tons of information, most of it useful. Okay. However, one of the things, their question and answer little area there, you can ask anything and it will come up. The website is very, very helpful. It can be overwhelming to some, but if you know exactly what you're looking for on there, it is amazing. Yeah. And the website was designed because I was part of the think group that helped kind of put certain things together. So we designed it with you guys in mind also. Any other questions?
Okay, here's the key thing. For the last 4 years, I've been with 12 groups nationwide. I'm called Senior Citizen Council. They supportively said that 35 years ago, one of the administration borrowed $2.7 trillion out of the Social Security Fund. One group was trying to do what they call lock-in, so the government can never go into that fund. Do you know anything about that?
Of course, however, I also know that that information has changed so much over the years. It has been around forever, talking about the lock on the trust fund and everything since the 80s, since the early 80s. The thing about Social Security, the one thing that I want you to know about Social Security, and I've said this for years and years and years, because I've heard that they're robbing Social Security. There won't be any Social Security by the time I get to be retirement age. And I took a lot of retirement claims from people who said that. Just think about this. If Social Security goes away, what's there in its place? Just think about that. What's in its place? If anything, Social Security, the need for Social Security has only increased, has only grown. Why? Because for one thing, we're living longer. We, also, what are they saying? 1 out of 4 young people or becoming disabled before they reach retirement age. So there's a need there, and there is nothing in its place. When I said that it is the most successful anti-poverty program that this country has come up with, then that is true. There are people who, if this program goes away, what is there for them? I mean, you have community organizations and agencies who was created based on this program. So therefore, yeah, there's a lot of things that have been said, that have been going on and everything, but the only thing that you can really rest assured is that because Social Security answers so many needs, because it creates such a difference in people's lives and everything, that I can safely say that for right now, in my lifetime, I know that I look forward to enjoying the benefits as well. So, yeah.
So what I'm hearing you say, I was going to wait until November to be able to touch bases with ARP, veterans, unions, Senator, a congressperson, Pelosi, and Schumer, and said, what is the actual fact? 2.7 being taken by one of the government agencies 35 years ago. Is it true or not? Or should I just go ahead and die and don't worry about it?
Yeah, but you know what, though? You can follow up on whatever it is that you feel that you want answers for and everything. That's the wonderful thing about being able to exercise your rights to follow up and get the answers that you're looking for. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, good. So if everybody is satisfied, no other questions or anything?
Have you heard anything about if there will be a raise on Social Security next year?
Absolutely. In fact, I am, according to some of the actuaries and everything, it's going to be a quite substantial size raise because of everything that happened with pandemic and everything. So, yeah. Okay.
This coming year.
Yes.
2022.
Mhm.
I'll be looking you up.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, thanks, Sharon.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us online again. And I want to remind you, the Medicare 101 is just a basic seminar about Medicare, but it's a really nice comprehensive Medicare seminar by our home and community-based service manager, who's also a senior health insurance counselor, Chris Fulton. That is September 15th at 3, and I think Abby put those online, and you all have one in the room, this information about it. There will be a virtual option, because who knows what's happening in September too, but we will also be able to come into the office. And then Medicare 102 is the next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. That is way more comprehensive, but it's a fabulous program to go through. So mark those down if you're interested in anything Medicare. And if you need assistance with your Medicare for next year, make sure you make your appointments early. We have 16 information and assistance sites throughout 7 counties that H Smart serves. And there's organizations like the Washington County Senior Center that do fabulous work, but we all get booked up because there's only so many of us. So make your appointments early. So you can assure that you can get in. If you're new to Medicare, save an hour to an hour and a half for those sessions because it does take a lot of time to do that. Or if you know somebody who's new to Medicare, just to remind them about that. So once again, thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna talk to her, but I think that she should.
Sharon, you got a card?
Into the meeting.